Ladies and gentlemen, this evening of the 22nd of March 2026, I would like to greet you once more and welcome you to our channel. And thank you for taking time off your schedule to join us and be with us in our endeavor. As always, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, those that we have made since our inception, and comment in the commentary section below. Comment not only on the content, but on the methodology we utilize to deliver the content and the message to you. As some of you might recall, from the beginning of this initiative, we highlighted a couple of areas of which we believe of particular importance for engagements in. That is digitization of operations in excuse me, digitization of operations in all aspects of our lives, of our personal and professional lives. The Internet of Things, the concepts of the Internet of Things, and lately, and more popularly, artificial intelligence, AI. And you recall that I said from where we stand, this channel is interested in looking at how developments in those areas, in those areas or focus areas of life, do they innovatively impact on the quality of lives of African people, and how can they be utilized as part of innovative interventions in all aspects of our life to improve the standard of living of African people in their respective areas and stations of life, be it at their workplace, which is where they earn a living, where the people work, where they develop, generate, and disseminate information and knowledge. That is where they learn. Of course, where they live, where they spend their ordinary lives, sleep and live and so on, and also how they express themselves culturally in terms of language, the arts, song, dance, music, literature, and related stuff. So we say, Ines, how do innovations in those in those areas, and we stress the importance of people on the African people in our continent, not only being seen or not only have their role be limited to consumption. They must not be consumers of knowledge developed elsewhere. they must own, because only when you own can you dictate, and only when you own that you can dictate, that you can advance your interests, advance and prioritize your interests. Other people will never put your interests as a priority. And I've said many times before in this channel that I do not blame them for that. So there have been some developments, contemporary developments in contemporary South Africa. Say, for instance, I have, and a couple of other people have noted that some recent developments at the Madlanga Commission, for instance, revealed and highlighted some weaknesses and deficiencies that we have as a society. Among those is on the question of utilization of language. That manifested itself in inadequate, perhaps even poor translation, interpretation and translation between various languages, particularly African languages and European, that is like English languages in South Africa. That highlighted that, but that got me thinking as a player, and that should have got us thinking as participants and players in the innovation system. Remember, I always say that we must think beyond what we see on our TV screens. So that got me thinking about the value and the use and the value and the critical importance of language as a means of communication that is utilized by human beings, by us, by in our individual capacities, in our individual capacities and roles across all those areas that I have highlighted. And that got me to realize the importance of innovation in the utilization of language, the role of language used or utilized in the areas of digitization, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence. What does, given the widespread application and impact of artificial intelligence in virtually everything that we do, that we're going to do as a people, then we should ask ourselves, and particularly those of us who are players in the national system of innovation in South Africa, we should ask ourselves critical questions about the role of language and how does that impact, what is the ultimate impact of those in the areas of development that would ultimately result in the development of the quality of life of African people. The choices that we as society make in these particular areas are of very critical importance. And the question of language is not unimportant at all. And I would like it not to be downplayed. One of the observations that's been made by some opinion makers in South Africa and people who look at the future and predict what's going to happen and what has happened. One of the notable observations that have been made over the years, over decades, even centuries, is that One of the reasons for underdevelopment, but if not the reason, but one of the key factors in the area of underdevelopment of African people is that all areas that matters, all subject issues that matters are attended to in foreign languages, in languages other than our own. And English is a foreign language because it's not a language of the people of Africa. As the name suggests, it's English, so it's language of the people of England. So I'm raising these things not for the sake of it, but for us to take asking of us that we take a step back and ask ourselves, what role does language play in these areas? That's what I'd like us to think about and see how do we use the question of language for the benefit, in other words, that benefits African people, and take a perspective, as we always say in this channel, that is unapologetically African. I hope I'm clear, and this is a topic and issue that I'd like to engage in as members of the innovation community. We're running out of time, and as I always say in this channel, Utemba, Guwakamataba, I thank you and bye-bye.